Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for USVI News. I'm Emily Matson. Jeffrey Epstein's St. James Islands are listed for sale for an extraordinary price tag. Bespoke Real Estate, a New York-based company, listed what it's calling two exceptional private Caribbean islands for $125 million. The two islands were owned by disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. The listing says the nearly 230 acres of land is made up of Great St. James and Little St. James, with in all 6 beaches, a helipad, private dock, pool, 4 guest villas, and a lot more. The listing says the islands offer a picturesque setting with abundant possibilities. It suggests that Great St. James offers subdivision options, and Little St. James has many existing structures. It says you can move in, renovate, or rebuild. The listing, though, makes no mention of Epstein's prior ownership of the islands. The multimillionaire and repeat convicted sexual offender was awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges when he was found dead in a federal prison in New York City back in 2019. More than 100 women have come forward claiming to be victims of Epstein's sex offenses. The young women accusing him of trafficking them and forcing them to have sex with Epstein and many of his rich and powerful associates. Back in December, Epstein's confidant, Ghislaine Maxwell, was found guilty on 5 counts, including sex trafficking of minors. In St. Croix, we have great news to bring you in regards to future development of downtown. Governor Albert Bryan Jr. just signed off on the documents to finalize the sale of the Kings Alley Hotel and nearby property for $3.65 million to a company called Neighborhood Establishment. The development group plans to redevelop the property along with the King Christian Hotel into a major enhancement of the Christiansted Boardwalk. The new development will have 100 hotel rooms, 8 food, beverage, and retail outlets, event space, 27 parking spaces, and 2 boat docks, which will be able to accommodate 20-plus vessels. All of the renovations, according to the Bryan administration, will create 150 construction jobs as well as 100 full-time positions between the various properties, restaurants, and retail establishments. Looking forward to that big renovation there in downtown Christiansted. So we continue our coverage now of March Madness and Virgin Islanders hitting the hardwood in the NCAA basketball tournament. Thursday night, the USVI will cheer on Juwan Roberts from St. Thomas. He plays for the University of Houston. Roberts and the Cougars will play Arizona in the Sweet 16. So best of luck to Juwan. And this Friday, the Territory will rally for Aaliyah Boston, playing, of course, for South Carolina. Boston and South Carolina will play UNC in the Sweet 16. USVI News' Allie Bourne-Vanek catches up with Aaliyah's parents who are on their way to catch all the action. They share how determination and an unwavering faith has helped Aaliyah, as well as the whole family, as they move along this incredible journey.
I watch the games over and over on YouTube, of course, and every time I watch her, I get chills because it just reminds me of how hard she's worked to get where she is right now. So it is exciting.
I think he summed it up. Aaliyah is always a big dreamer, and she's worked for every goal that she's ever set for herself. And to watch a journey that, God has allowed her to go on is great. And I say that because coming from St. Thomas to where she is now, and I know she hasn't gotten to where she will be one day, but that's all God. That's the doors he has opened for her, the opportunities that he has put in his path, and the things that he has allowed us to do to support her and help her to get to where she is right now.
And we will be watching. Well, hopefully she'll get her 27th consecutive double-double. Best of luck to both Virgin Islanders as they compete in the NCAA Sweet 16 tournament. We will be watching. So apparently, if you want to breathe clean air, you are in just the right place. The U.S. Virgin Islands is one of the top 5 countries or territories in the world that met the World Health Organization's guidelines for good and safe air quality. Puerto Rico hit the mark as well. That's the good news. The new report, though, also showed only 3% of cities And no single country met the latest air quality guidelines from the World Health Organization. Bangladesh, Chad, and Pakistan were the top 3 most polluted countries in the world in 2021. That's according to IQ Air. The United States came in at 90 on the list. Michael George reports from New York City, where researchers say the air quality has gotten worse compared to last year.
A new report finds 97% of U.S. cities did not meet air quality guidelines from the World Health Organization. Looking at last year, Los Angeles was the American city with the most pollution, according to IQ Air. Researchers measured PM 2.5 levels. Those are tiny aerosol particles that harm human health. LA's level reached 13.7 micrograms, well above the WHO's acceptable 5 micrograms.
We're seeing continually increasing concentrations in PM 2.5. And in several of the most populated cities in the United States, we're actually back to pre-pandemic levels.
The report blames the poor air quality on the increasing severity of wildfires, along with fossil fuel combustion and vehicle emissions. Chicago is the second most polluted U.S. city, followed by Atlanta, Dallas, and Philadelphia. While Los Angeles has the worst pollution, the report says it's getting better, mostly because the worst wildfires were in Northern California in 2021. New York City is number 8 on the list. Pollution here got worse this year, in part due to the western wildfires.
The California wildfires with smoke plumes really traveling across the country and making it all the way to the East Coast.
The report estimates air pollution was responsible for 230,000 premature U.S. deaths in 2020, causing and aggravating diseases including cancer and asthma.
I don't think people are willing to give up their big cars and their airplane rides off to nowhere just to get away for a weekend.
Experts say we need to do more to restrict emissions, and people should check the air quality daily and consider it when making outdoor plans.
All right, so a lot of grim news there, but again, the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, great news in terms of air quality there. The report found that we did make the WHO guidelines, so good news there for sure. Breathe easy. So while there is a bit of an increase, COVID-19 cases remain low in the territory. According to the latest numbers from the VI Department of Health, there are 44 active cases territory-wide right now, with 28 on St. Croix, 12 on St. Thomas, and 1 active case on St. John. These numbers are certainly promising. Health leaders in the VI, though, say be cautious because the Omicron subvariant BA2 is out there, but as of yet, it has not been found in the Virgin Islands. So the coronavirus pandemic has led to hospital staff shortages nationwide, including in the Virgin Islands, as healthcare workers report a significant rise in burnout. One survey by the American Association of Critical Care Nurses found nearly 70% of nurses said their experiences during the pandemic have caused them to consider leaving the career of nursing. Natalie Brand shows us how one hospital group in Maryland is addressing the issue head on.
My name is Angie. I'm one of the nurses here. How are you today?
ICU nurse Angie Wheeler considers the job a calling. But the pandemic posed a test unlike any other in her 4 decades of experience.
The pandemic totally changed nursing.
And it's led to a surge in burnout among healthcare workers nationwide. This hospital in Prince George's County, Maryland, has experienced up to 30% turnover in nursing staff, according to Chief Nursing Officer Crystal Beckford.
If hospital systems don't address this, what does that mean?
Operationally, you could come to a standstill. We have to address nursing burnout.
That means rolling out a new self-care strategy, from treats to say thank you, to a quiet room to take a breath, even if only for a few minutes.
Notice any tension?
Meditation over Zoom.
Hold it.
Techniques shared with new nurses in training.
Hospitals engaging with their staff and doing the little things really go a long way.
Ashley Gick, a nurse of 5 years, is using a new tuition assistance program to study management as hospitals innovate ways to retain their critical front line.
If we keep where we're at right now with staffing shortages and increased patient ratios, it burns you out, heart and soul.
While healthcare workers are trained to put others first,
What do you think is going to prevent healthcare workers from burning out?
Taking care of yourself first and foremost.
The intensity of the past 2 years has stressed the importance of taking time to recharge.
It's nice in the midst of things to see some beauty
And appreciate life in order to better serve others.
Yeah, some good advice. Always make sure you're taking care of yourself. And the hospital's chaplains there are also making rounds to check in on the nursing staff in addition to the usual job of helping patients and their families.